Hey folks, welcome to 100 before 40 and beyond. In this video folks, I take you through my marathon training block for the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon. As you would know by now folks, this is sub 330 attempt 2.0. Having failed at Berlin, came back, sat on the drawing board, looked at where it could possibly have gone wrong and what I could possibly fix. I decided this time around I should have a much longer training block. So the plan, folks, was to start much earlier. I had planned to start with the base building phase as early as January, getting ready for October, because that's how badly I want it, folks. I want this sub 330 to fall. But as fate would have it, folks, January just disappeared between some DIY and getting sick and life in general. I fell off the tracks before I even started. When February came, I was starting again, but I think I only got into the groove by March. And that was because I decided to register for some races so that I could have an immediate goal that I would be training for as part of the long term. So I registered for the Johannesburg City Marathon and the Limpopo Mangaung Marathon. On the 30th of March, after a few weeks of training, I rocked up for the Johannesburg City Marathon. I had initially registered for a half marathon, but because of peer pressure, I ended up upgrading last minute to the marathon. Boy, I finished, but it was not clean. It was slow, but the big thing is that I finished. In April, I tried to maintain the momentum from March as much as I could, and by the time the Limpopo Mangaung Marathon came on the 3rd of May, I think I had made some significant inroads. I think I was now in shape to at least run a marathon without regretting my life choices. And that's what happened, folks. I lined up for the Limpopo Mangaung Marathon with a little bit of confidence, not too confident though, because I was still in my base building phase. In fact, it took some persuading my coach that I needed to run this marathon. It was one of the best marathons I had run in 2023 and missed out 2024 because of injury. So this year I had to return there. Plus, it was part of my long-term base building phase, so I had to rock up for this one. After the Limpopo Mangaung Marathon, it felt like I was now heading towards the cruise mode. But as life has it, some serious personal issues cropped up. Another setback, another few weeks off the rails. By the time June came, the training was not as consistent as I would have loved by that time. But one thing though sparked the magic. Heading to the Comrades Marathon to participate in it on the sidelines. I'm sure you've seen the videos I did on that. Kind of helped me because it got me to refocus and reshape my mindset on how I would tackle this sub 330 attempt. And witnessing all of you guys running the Comrades Marathon from the sidelines, I realized that sometimes it's a matter of mind over matter. Sometimes you just have to rock up and keep going. So from that day, from the Comrades Marathon day, when I witnessed the heroics of many of you, I decided it was no longer about trying some perfect starts. It was no longer about excuses. I had to keep my eyes on the ball if I really wanted to have a good attempt at this sub 330. So from that day, folks, every run counted, whether it was good, ugly, pretty, it didn't matter. As long as I kept moving, that's what was important. As July came, folks, my coach instructed me to go and run a half marathon just to test my fitness and see how far I could push. So I registered for the GFox 21K, the GFox half marathon. I did a video on that. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out for all the details of what transpired there. I finished the GFox in 1 hour, 50 minutes. Not too good a time for a sub 330 attempt. But you know what, folks? It kept me going. It reassured me that I could still run a sub 2 marathon even on a bad day, even on a somehow difficult course like the GFox course. So that gave me the zeal to keep going. I knew that I had the potential and all I needed was consistency, and July had sort of laid that base for the consistency. I had showed up for almost every run on the program. I had showed up both my body and my mind, and something was ticking. And when I checked my watch data at the end of July, I noticed that my estimated marathon finish time had dropped from I think in June it was around 353, 355, but this time around it had dropped to 333. So for the first time, folks, I began to believe that that sub 330 was not too far off after all. If we were still in July and with a few weeks of proper consistent training, my estimated finish time was now 333. With another month or so of proper showing up, consistent runs, longer runs, harder track sessions, I started thinking that maybe, just maybe, this is not a bridge too far as I had thought for a few months after that failed attempt at Berlin. Then, folks, as I was now enjoying the momentum and in cruise mode, cruising nicely, my shoes became an issue. Those who watched the G-Fox video, you would have noticed that we had a thing where Palisa wore my shoe while she was wearing her shoe. So with a leg in her shoe could fit in my shoe. And it looked like a joke. Folks, there was something serious about it. It's a battle that I have to constantly fight because finding my shoe size is always an issue. So when my shoes showed me real signs of having given up, I had to go hunting for shoes again. And that exercise, folks, was not an easy one.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm looking for a shoe, a 1080 size US 15 2E. Just want to check if you could have it in stock.
1080 for men.
Yes.
We don't have any 1080s in men.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right.
You can check Mall of Africa and Trenton.
I tried Mall of Africa. They said no already. So, and you guys are the other branch that I bought another one from. So I thought, oh, let me start with you. So maybe let me try Senton and see. But yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Said Senton. The guy from Mall of Africa has already told me no one has it in the whole country.
Good afternoon. Thanks for coming. How may I assist?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm looking for a 1080 size US 15 2E. Just checking if you have that in stock.
Come again, sir?
I'm looking for a New Balance 1080 size US 15 2E. And I'm just checking if you have it in stock.
Okay, can you hold on a second?
Thank you.
It's New Balance
1080.
1080.
Yes.
Okay. Size?
US 15 2E.
15?
15 2E, the wide one.
Size?
US 15.
Yeah, I'm asking what size?
Yes, size US 15 and 2E, the wider version.
Running department,
Hi, I'm looking for a New Balance size US 15 2E.
UK 15?
Yes, US 15. And
no, we don't have UK 15. We only have UK 11 and half, the biggest in the store.
Will you be able to check for me if any of your branches close by has?
Should I check? We still have size 15.
Yes, if it's possible.
Hold on, let me check for you.
Thank you.
So with us sportsmen, we only go to UK 13 and half.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you for your help.
Yes. Maybe you can try New Balance store. I know the one in Newlands, Felon Square.
Felon Square. Okay, let me check. Thank you very much.
Yeah, in Felon, yeah, you can phone that New Balance and find out.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, bye.
Randek Rana, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm wondering if you can help me. I'm looking for a New Balance 1080, size US 15 2E. I don't know if
15, 1, 5.
yeah, 152E, the wide one.
No. I have, just give me a moment. I just want to say
Not a
100%
problem.
sure yes or no. I don't have, no, I don't have the 1080.
Okay.
Yeah, we normally, although I checked now, we don't have the size, but we normally go with, what do you call it? We go with the 880.
Okay. So would you have an 880 on that size?
No, at the moment, no.
No, as
but
well.
we generally,
Okay.
yeah.
I see. I
Yeah,
see.
we've got the 860, which is a stability one.
Yeah, no, it's 860 is a push for me. I once tried it and it ended in tears. So, and that's why I could make a compromise and go to 880, but 60,
Yeah.
60 is too much.
Yeah, yeah.
So after those few calls, folks, I had to make a difficult decision. I had to settle for the 880s. And folks, just so that you understand, since 2017, I have run in those 1080s, tried 860s and they didn't work. So for almost 10 years, I've been running on the same shoe. And this time around, not because of my choice, but because I could not find the size in the whole country, I had to, I don't know whether it's a downgrade, but yeah, I had to settle for the 880s because I had no choice. My marathon training was now almost like getting to its peak, and I could not afford waiting around for a few weeks hoping that the new 1080s will come out, that sort of thing. So that was that. That was the end of an era. Bye to the 1080s and welcome to the 880s. All right, folks. Today we are back at the track with New Dynamics. I'm doing my first speed run in my new life, the life of running in the 880s, having been downgraded from the 1080s because of the big foot. So let's see how it goes. The plan is a 5,000 meter tempo run. It should be fairly easy since it's 5,000 meters. Let's go. All right, folks, that was that 5,000 meters tempo run. It's all in search of that sub 330. Let's hope this works. And the shoes, folks, so far no complaints. I think we'll have to talk about it at 100 kilometers. For now, we just have to go by the feel. The thing with consistency and being in the groove is that sometimes you tend to do a lot more, and that's exactly what happened in August. The long runs became longer, the track sessions became harder and brutal, and as a result, folks, fatigue started creeping in. I'm not complaining, that was the program. I think it was designed to ensure that I could keep going when the going got tough. But it was not always easy to keep going when the going got tough. Yeah, folks, it's not always easy. Sometimes you wake up and it's not mathing. Like, I woke up 2 hours ago, almost 3 hours, did my morning ritual and went back to bed because I don't feel like it today, but I will have to go because that's what it takes. I just don't feel like it. I'm already dehydrated before I even started, and I have a 30K long run. Yeah, today is just today. This is 8 weeks, is it? Yeah, almost. I can't even remember. The race is on the 19th of October. Yeah. Today is just today, but let's see. Let me try. I will see how far I go. The worst thing is not going at all. So let's see. If I stop at 21, I stop at 21. But let's go and try. Let's go get ready. Okay, folks, so the battle for this long run carries on. Like I said earlier, I just couldn't put myself up to it. But now I finally dressed up and I couldn't find my bladder for the rehydration pack, so I improvised. I've got 2 jugs. Yes. And it's time to go. It's just before 8 o'clock, so from 4:30 it has taken 3.5 hours to get on the road. Let's see how this long run, it's supposed to be an easy run, so I hope it will be easy. But easy is 5:45 to 6:15, 30-minute window. And let's see how it goes. 30 kilometers. Okay, folks. 3 hours, 2 minutes later, the 30k long run or easy run is done and dusted. Boy, today was one of those days. It was trying. It was an easy run physically, but mentally I was just not in it. I just had to keep pushing, and I got to a stage around 18 where I was doubting myself whether this whole chasing 3:30 is a good idea or I should just go and run the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon for fun, just like other kids. But look, days are not the same. Sometimes you're on a high, sometimes you're on a low. Today was one of those low days. Hopefully tomorrow I can redeem myself. I can get the spirits high for another easy run. It will be much shorter tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that one. Despite all that fatigue, I just had to keep showing up. For most of August, I hit all my training sessions. They may not have been pretty, they may have been forced, but I still showed up and I carried on. And by the time I checked my watch data at the end of August, my estimated marathon finish time had dipped under 3:30. It was now 3:27. So if I had any doubt when we closed off July, closing off August, I was quite on a high. I was quite confident that give me another month, we can dip this to about 3:24, 3:23. And that's what I focused on. That's what I kept my eyes on, hoping that with a more few brutal track sessions, consistency and all that, I would hit that 3:23, 3:24 estimated marathon finishing time. But it was not all about focusing on the theory, because the estimated finishing time, most of you know that these watches sometimes get excited and they start giving you false hope. So I did not really put all my eggs in one basket, that because my watch is telling me that. I kept focused. I kept hitting the road. I kept hitting the track as much as I could. And in September, I just piggybacked on the good base building phase from August. But this time around, folks, the hard runs had now become harder and the long runs had become longer, because it was all about building the mileage, hoping that I do not go through the fate of Berlin. Those ghosts do not attack around 23, 24 kilometers as they did. So we had to do a 21-kilometer run at marathon goal pace. So we just have to trust the process. Today, folks, it's a long time trial. That's 21 kilometers at marathon pace, to see whether we can sustain that pace. So I've just started with a 10-minute slow warm-up there, and I'm just gonna go back home. It's only 100 meters walk, and pick my supplies, and then we off. I'm doing this walk thing because the last part of the warm-up there was slightly hilly, so the heart rate kind of spiked too early. So just need to pick my supplies and start the clock, and off we go. 21k marathon goal pace. And how I've structured it is, I want it to be almost like a progression thing. So we start at 5 minutes per K. That is 2 seconds outside the marathon goal pace. So we'll lose about 10 seconds for the first 5Ks. Then the second case, we take it to 4:56 to 5. Should stay within the range. The next 5K, we go down another 3 seconds. And then for the last 6K, we go at 4:50. So that should balance it out. That should recover those lost 10 seconds at the beginning or at the start. So let's see how this one goes. It promises to be a tough one, but you know, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So let's see how it goes. So folks, 5 kilometers done. Bang on target. But the next 5K is going to be slightly hilly and a bit tougher. So let's see how that goes. So interval 2, remember I said we are going on a progressive kind of pace. That was 4:58, and I think I got carried away a bit because it's slightly hilly, but there are also downs which I went a bit fast. I know this script. You go fast thinking you're banking time, then you hit the wall. So I hope we don't get there where I'll be reduced to frequent walks. 11 Ks to go. That's all. So folks, it was happening out there. Marathon Go pace, just testing the legs to see if we are at that desired level. I missed giving you an update after the third? Yes, the third 5K loop. It was happening. I don't think I could talk at that stage. It was just fire in the lungs. It was at that stage as well I started thinking I wouldn't get to this 21K at the Marathon Go pace, because folks, this is not easy. Hey, it's hard work. But anyway, I stuck it in there. I persevered, and at the end I managed to stick to the time for all the three. The first one was 5 minutes. I think at that I will check when I get home and show you on the screen, but I think I managed that at 4:56. Then the next one was supposed to be 4:58. Again, I think I came just below 4:56. The third one was the somehow troublesome one, but I managed to get there. The last one was a 6K loop. Who let the dogs out? They are out and barking non-stop. Anyway, the last one was a 6K loop or interval. Boy, that was hard. That was hard work. I was reduced to walking a bit, but as soon as I got back into the groove, it was good. The last 3Ks, I enjoyed those. I think because it was flattish and then down. The last K was a bit going up. But overall, I'm a happy customer because I managed to come below the predicted time. I was predicted to finish at 1:44. I finished at 1:42 and some change. So yay! We are making some progress, trusting the process, one step at a time. I just hope I will manage to stick it out to like 32K at that pace, because at Berlin, after 22, 23, the wheels came off, and that's where my race just disintegrated. So in this training run today, I think I managed to push to that buffer, and if possible, I need to add another 10 or so kilometers, just hold it at that pace, and I think I'll be good. The last 10K will be the last 10K. We'll just have to see how it goes. But for today, folks, I'm a happy customer. Trust the process, and we are trusting it. And after that, folks, as it seems that the momentum was now in the momentum phase, like there was no turning back, I decided to go and bucket list things. I decided to go and run the 2 countries marathon. I did some videos on that. It was a blast. I enjoyed myself. I had last done that race in 2015. So 10 years later, I had come back and it was well organized. I enjoyed myself. A day after that, against my coach's advice, I decided to go and run the Waterfall half marathon. Well, you can't blame me, folks, because it's one of the well-organized races that you get around. But when I spoke to my coach and told him that I had run that, he didn't sound impressed. He didn't sound like he was happy with it. But being an understanding man he was, he then told me that I needed to take a full week's break, no strength training, maybe just some mild stretching, but I had to stay off those legs. And with that, folks, came, in my view, a break in momentum, because after the week, getting back into the groove was a bit difficult. I mean, runs that I had done just a few weeks before, cruised through them and feeling like I could go for much longer, became difficult again. And 2 weeks down the line, it was time to go back to the marathon goal pace to test the speed and the endurance and see if I could go for much longer. And this was important for me because the ghost of Berlin hit around 23, 24. So I needed to run at least 24 kilometers to see whether I could go beyond that phase without feeling like giving up. All right, folks, 2 weeks before Cape Town Marathon, kind of last long run-ish. Today is all about testing speed, marathon goal pace, 24 kilometers. Just finished my warm-up. The weather is kind of giving the Cape Town weather that the Cape Townians want, that be prepared for the wind. So it's cloudy. I have my sunglasses because of the wind, nothing else. It's not bright and all that. The future is not bright. Anyway, let's see how this one goes. Right, folks, update. So the first 5Ks done and dusted. We're still within the target pace. Interval 2, 5 kilometers done and dusted, still going strong. So folks, I'm back. I didn't update you on the 3rd and 4th interval. I think that was partly because I was running on the main road, so there was too much noise. The 3rd interval kind of got tough. At that point, I was battling to keep it under 4:55, but I think I stuck it out there. I think the average pace at the end of the day probably stuck it out, but the kilometer by kilometer was a battle. Then the 4th was just, I couldn't keep it within range. I think the marathon, the 2 countries marathon is catching up. I rested for a week, but still that was a battle. Then the last interval, I think I managed to hang in there. But the only problem, though, is I'm supposed to be reaching halfway now at the marathon. So overall, I would say that was not a good session, because I should be able to, at this stage, I should be able to easily run 25 Ks at marathon goal pace, because remember, I'll just be crossing the halfway. So let's just say maybe it's because of the 2 countries marathon still in the legs. Philip is here. What's the date today? Saturday, the 11th of October. Sanlam Cape Town Marathon is here. Whether I like it or not, this is it. After what has been somehow a very successful training block. So we're out here for the last longish easy run, 20k easy, and easy is between 5:30 and 5:45 minutes per kilometer. Let's see how it goes, because last week it became a bit difficult with that marathon goal pace 24k, but this is it. No turning back. Early morning The sun is already up. It's not even 6:15, but yeah, it's already up. So that tells you need to be waking up early. Anyway, let's go. So yeah, folks, that was my training blog for the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon. It had its highs and it had its lows. But the most important thing, folks, 48 hours before the race day, I feel like I've done enough. I feel like I am stronger, I am smarter, and I'm ready. But I would be interested in hearing your views, folks, having told you what I was up to, whether you think I can make it, you think this sub 3:30 is going to fall this time around. And as we did last time with Berlin, folks, let's do the prediction game again. You predict my finishing time, whether you predict it under 3:30 or outside 3:30, it doesn't matter. The person who predicts the closest time to my actual finish time will get one of these nice, yeah, I said it myself, nice 100 before 40 and beyond t-shirts, just like we did last time around. And as usual, folks, thank you for your support. Thank you for following my journeys. Thank you for following these videos. If you enjoyed this video, folks, please give us a fat thumbs up. If you haven't done so yet, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications bell so that you get notified when we post something new. See you in Cape Town.